Good afternoon, everyone. So welcome to another video. So today it's going to be all about Google Ads bidding masterclass. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to bid smarter, basically. So I know a lot of you guys are asking, how much should I bid? What should my max CPC be set? What strategies should I be using? I want to show you and demystify a little bit about everything surrounding bidding, what it is, and I hope through this you're going to be able to be a lot smarter with your bids. And it comes down to, obviously, it's basic math, guys. So it's not very difficult, but there's a few little settings and stuff that if you don't know what you're doing, then you potentially could be wasting a lot of money. So stay tuned, guys. Let's get into the video right away. Okay, so first and foremost, what is bidding? So especially for some of you that are completely new to Google Ads. So Google Ads works in an auction, okay? So advertisers are competing to show their ads to people on Google, okay? So in the Google search engine, you've obviously got a finite number of people on there each day and a finite number of searches. So Google has created an auction system where people bid. Just like a house auction, so when someone goes to buy a house through an auction process, people put bids as to how much they're willing to spend to buy the house. In this instance, because Google is PPC, you're bidding on how much a click is worth to you. How much are you willing to spend for your maximum click? So this is obviously a big factor as to whether or not you're going to be profitable, guys. Now, if you set your bid too high, there's no way for you to be profitable. If you set it too low, you're never going to be seen. So it's a little bit of back and forth and tweaking. So working out your ideal bid is very, very important. So as I said, the bid is the maximum amount you are willing to spend on a click. So you're probably asking, the person with the highest bid wins, right? It's not necessarily the case. So Google wants quality content and quality advertisers, because for them to continue to succeed, they need people to be happy with their platform. And if they're not delivering on what people want when they search, then less people are going to use it, right? It's going to leave the door open for competitors. And obviously advertisers don't want that. Advertisers are going to want to pay on a platform where people are there, they're ready, they're willing to spend, and whatever they're being shown is relevant and they're happy, okay? Now, how are ads ranked? So obviously, even within same advertisers in the same niche, Google awards people an ad rank. Okay, so this is obviously used to rank different ads against each other, and basically the formula is your max CPC times your quality score. Okay, so that gives you your ad rank. Now, your max CPC obviously is one factor, but the quality score is another factor, and this is why I say you need to focus on optimizing your campaigns. So what this means is you can go and outrank a competitor who is bidding far higher than you because you have a better quality score. Your ad is more relevant to your customer, okay? So I hope that makes sense. I will do a lot more content on quality score, but if you want to know a little bit more about optimization, just check my optimization video, which I'll leave the link just above now. So what's the moral of the story? The more time you spend optimizing your campaigns, the more money you're going to save, yeah? That's why I say it's super important, because this is the only way for you to compete with the people that are outbidding you, yeah? And this is super important, especially when it comes to service-based businesses, because even things like what I do, so I might have a painting contractor and their cost per click might be $17 for a commercial painter. Or, a marble resurfacing place, it might be $15, $20 a click that they're paying. So making sure that we optimize their campaigns is super important, and it will be for e-commerce as well. So how much should you bid? Now guys, this really comes down to your margins and risk profile, but here is a good rule of thumb and mathematically the simplest way to explain it. So your maximum cost per click bid should be your average profit per sale times your average conversion rate, okay? So for example, guys, if your average profit per sale on a product is $10, okay, and your conversion rate is 1%, then your maximum cost per click bid should be 10 cents, okay? So you should not be bidding more than 10 cents on average for a click based on your conversion rate. Now, obviously, the factors there are your conversion rate. You should be looking to improve that conversion rate. Secondly, you should be selling products that have higher profit margins. But this is a basic rule of thumb as to, if I was you, this is what you want to set your maximum bids to by product or by campaign if you're blending it all together. So if you were doing a whole campaign, you would take the average of all of those products, so the average profit margin of those products. So obviously based on sales rates, not total, because that's going to get completely skewed, especially if you have lower margin products selling more than higher margin, and then times it by your average store conversion rate. Now for Google Ads, you'd obviously want it to be a little bit higher than Facebook ads because, you've got the higher buyer intent. But on the same token, you need to be focusing on improving these metrics, guys, okay? On the same token, Google can get expensive if you're wasting money on irrelevant keywords or irrelevant terms, yeah? Now, guys, very, very important in your campaigns, make sure you're always setting a max CPC bid. Google is going to try, obviously, and take as much money from you as possible, even though it wants things to be relevant. If you give all of that control to Google, then obviously it's in their interest. They're going to spend your money. So always set a max CPC bid. Do not listen to anyone that says do not set one, okay? So in your campaigns, when it asks you to set a max CPC bid, make sure you're entering a number there based on the previous formula I showed you. Okay, so you've probably heard of the different types of bidding strategies. We've got manual and automated bidding strategies, okay? So manual, we set and have full control of a max CPC. Okay, it's going to tell us there when we're dropping below top of page. So after a few days, you're going to get feedback from Google when you use manual CPC as to are you appearing on the first page or not. And guys, we don't always need to be appearing on the first page. Just a little note. I'll speak about that in later videos though. So manual, we've got all the control and it's super manual and tedious, right? Like we have to set and know exactly how much we can afford to bid, and even at different times of the auction. So obviously the auction isn't a flat price, it cycles throughout the day, over time, and on different days, the bids are going to be different. So on manual, sometimes you might be missing out if your bid's too low, and if it's too high, you might be overpaying for certain clicks, yeah? That's where automated strategies can come in and give you a bit more automation. We're going to give Google full or partial control of setting our bids. So there's different bidding strategies within automated and some are kind of semi-automated. We still need to set a campaign objective. So Google's going to optimize for a campaign objective just like Facebook does, but the actual bids, this is obviously like automated bidding for Facebook. We can optimize for clicks, conversions, and Google's going to take in all of that machine learning, all those factors there that it has at its disposal, all those data points to come up with an ideal bid. Now, obviously, there's benefits and downsides to this, right? The benefit is you're not having to sit there and crunch numbers that, okay, at 6 p.m., women in Queensland, Australia are less likely to convert. Google already knows that and it takes that into account. The other token is sometimes if you do not have enough data, and even if Google is telling you to optimize for this, if you don't have bucket tons of data and a decent spend, so if you're not spending at least, say $100 a day, a lot of these strategies aren't going to work. Now, some of the other ones, 50, if you're spending around $50, you probably can still get away with things like eCPC and even a little bit lower. But if you're spending only a small amount and your account's brand new, that's when it's quite hard to optimize for things like conversions, okay? But the flip side is on manual bidding. If you don't have any data, so say you've got a brand new account, that's why I always recommend max clicks, because then at least you're going to collect some data and then as you become a bit more advanced, optimize. So what should you use? As I said, I've said many times, beginners, I recommend using max clicks, or if you're comfortable and understand how manual CPC works and are willing to put in the work, manual CPC is going to be better. But max clicks is going to allow you to collect a lot more data a lot quicker. And it's going to then allow you to go, okay, what is the rough bid that I need to do for this campaign, okay? Or for this product. Now, as I said, one's a bit more manual, one's automated. It's up to you which one you decide, but I recommend if you don't have any experience, start with max clicks. And as you get to the intermediate level, use manual CPC. And if you want, with enhanced CPC. So enhanced CPC is going to take into account the machine learning and bid up or down based on, time of day and other things like that. So advanced, you can use things like target return on ad spend and work and tell Google, this is the return on ad spend I want, or target CPA, so cost per acquisition or cost per purchase. So it's basically you're giving Google either a target return on ad spend or a target cost per acquisition. And out of these two, I find target CPA works a little bit better. This is the framework I would use if I was you guys. So thoughts in the comments below and let me know what's working for you. Me personally, I use manual CPC with eCPC or target CPA for the most part, or new accounts, max clicks. And to be honest, I use max clicks a lot on accounts that don't have a big budget, because I find that at least you're able to collect a fair bit of data quite quickly and on a small budget. That's why I recommend it. So how often should you review your bids? Guys, this really comes down to the size of the daily budget of the account. the potential daily impressions. So if you're not getting a lot of impressions, or if you're not spending a lot of money per day, then there's no point jumping in there every single day. So if you've got a $2.50 cost per click item, and you've got a budget of $10 a day, you're going to get 4 clicks a day. You know, it's going to take you a week, 2 weeks before you get any significant amount of data. And then lastly, your risk profile. Okay, so if you have a very small budget, you obviously want to sit there and be a lot more ruthless with the words you bid on. And likewise, if you're time poor, you probably don't want to be going in there every day and, you know, spending time, which is a valuable resource, on removing keywords and optimizing the campaign when you don't need to. So for smaller accounts, I probably will only look at it once a week, and for a larger account, you know, every few days kind of a thing. Depends on, you know, the level of ad spend, the risk profile, the margins, and all that sort of thing. So just a little rule of thumb, if you're going in there once a week with a small account, and then if you are on a tight budget, potentially you can go in 2 times a week, then that's perfectly okay. Just remember, don't remove keywords too soon, because you're probably not going to know whether or not they could have been profitable. So bid adjustments. So you can go in and adjust bids based on certain attributes. So you can obviously adjust keywords and products, right? So you can bid up and down depending on the product. Location. So you can go in and go, okay, locations that are closer to me, and this is especially true for service businesses, or if you know a particular country performs better for you, or a particular postcode. So best practice is actually to upload all postcodes, especially if you're doing local business, or if you're only delivering to areas around you. Then entering postcode, it's going to allow you to add, remove postcodes, or bid up where you're making serious money. And then device. So if you find you get more conversions from mobile, then you might bid up 20 or 25% on mobile. Demographics, so if 20 to 25 to 35 is your demographic, you might be able to bid up more on that. Say it's worth 15% more. Now on the flip side, you can do the inverse too, right? You can go, I'll bid 90% less on something. And then audiences, if you're overlaying audiences within campaigns, then you can bid up and down based on that. Okay guys, and just one more point. So smart shopping is completely automated. So there's obviously a lot less work that goes in on this, and more on this later this week. Okay guys, thank you so much. I've got some really big stuff coming this week. Stay tuned. Make sure you hit that notification bell, subscribe, comment. We need to grow this channel, okay? People are being slack. Start showing some support, guys. Those of you that have been, awesome. Thank you so much. We've pretty much just hit 1,000, so I'm really, really happy for everyone and the support you've given me. But let's grow this thing. Got a free course coming out soon. Got a premium course coming as well, and a bunch of other cool stuff on its way. So please, guys, leave some feedback below. Let me know what you want to see, and I'll see you in the next video.